We live in chains we can't see, not made of metal, but of expectations. The ones society hands us, the ones family whispers in our ear, the ones we silently place upon ourselves. Be successful. Make them proud. Don't disappoint. We spend our lives chasing these invisible checklists, believing that if we just meet every demand, finally, we will be free. But we aren't. Because when you live for expectations, the finish line always moves. The Stoics saw this trap clearly. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Ambition means tying your well-being to what others say or do. Self-indulgence means tying it to the things that happen to you. Sanity means tying it to your own actions." Freedom isn't the absence of responsibility, it's the absence of slavery to what others think you should be. Today, we'll explore 6 Stoic lessons to free yourself from the chains of expectation, not to become careless, but to become clear, not to reject connection, but to reclaim ownership of your own life, because you cannot live your truth if you are still trying to live someone else's story. Let's begin. Part 1. See expectations for what they are. Expectations are not destiny. They are just ideas, often inherited, sometimes outdated, and rarely examined. From the moment you were born, the world began to hand you a script. Society told you what success should look like. Your parents shaped a vision of the good life. Your peers displayed milestones on social media, silently suggesting where you should be by now. But here's the truth. Most of these standards are not built on your happiness. They are built on fear. Fear of falling behind, fear of judgment, fear of being different. They are shaped by comparison, tradition, and the insecurities of those who came before you. The Stoic pauses and asks, "Who decided this was important? Does this align with my principles? Am I chasing this because I value it, or because I fear not having it?" When you start questioning expectations, they lose their grip. You stop treating them as law and start seeing them for what they are, just opinions. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The first step to freedom is awareness. See the cage for what it is. Then, choose the door that leads to your path, not the one someone else mapped for you, because the only life worth living is the one you choose consciously. Part 2. Release the illusion of control over others. One of the heaviest expectations we carry is how others should think, act, or treat us. We expect kindness for kindness, loyalty for loyalty, understanding when we explain ourselves. But the Stoic knows control over another's mind is an illusion. People will misunderstand you. They will disappoint you. They will not always meet the standards you hold for yourself. When you tie your peace to their actions, you become a prisoner of their moods, mistakes, and limitations. Instead, set your standard for yourself and let go of the need for others to follow it. As Epictetus said, "When you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings. Then you will forget your anger. Free yourself from the exhausting work of managing other people's behavior. Respond with integrity even when they don't. Show up fully, without needing applause or validation in return. The less you expect from others, the lighter you walk. Not because you've grown cold, but because you've grown free." Part 3. Redefine success on your own terms. Many people are not truly failing. They are simply exhausted from chasing a definition of success that does not belong to them. We inherit other people's dreams, our parents' vision of a good life, society's checklist of milestones, our peers' curated highlight reels on social media, and without realizing it, we measure ourselves against a scoreboard we never agreed to play on. The Stoic asks, does this goal truly serve my life, or does it just serve my ego? Seneca warned, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. True freedom begins when you stop chasing applause and start pursuing alignment. Ask yourself, what would my life look like if I were the only witness? What work would I choose if no one could see or praise it? Which pursuits actually feed my soul rather than just my status? When you strip away the borrowed layers of ambition, what remains is clarity. And here's the paradox. When you stop running in someone else's race, you begin moving with a strength and speed you never knew you had, because you are finally in your own lane. Success, to the Stoic, is not about having more. It's about becoming more of who you truly are. And that kind of wealth can never be taken from you. Part 4. Release the need for control. One of the heaviest chains we carry is the belief that we can and must control everything. We plan every detail. We predict every outcome. We try to bend life into the shape we demand. But life is not clay in our hands. It is the ocean. And the harder you try to hold it, the faster it slips away. The Stoics understood this. Epictetus taught, some things are up to us, and some are not. And wisdom begins with knowing the difference. What is within your control? Your thoughts, your actions, your choices. What is beyond your control? The opinions of others, the twists of fate, the storms and the sunshine of the world. When you release the need to control what was never yours to command, you stop fighting the river and you start navigating it. This doesn't mean apathy. It means directing your full energy toward the things you can influence and letting the rest pass without stealing your peace. Control is an illusion, but self-control, that is real power. So loosen your grip on the outcomes. Hold firmly to your principles. Let life unfold, not because you are passive, but because you are wise enough to know that the wind and the waves will come, whether you fear them or not. Part 5. Redefine success on your terms. Most people never question the definition of success they've been handed. They chase titles, numbers, possessions, because that's what the world claps for. But applause is a poor compass. It points you toward what others value, not necessarily toward what nourishes your soul. The Stoics measured success differently. It wasn't wealth or recognition. It was virtue. The ability to live with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline, no matter the circumstances. Marcus Aurelius never asked, "Am I winning in their eyes?" He asked, "Am I living in harmony with my nature?" Redefining success means stepping out of the race you never wanted to run. It means choosing a path that aligns with your principles, even if it earns less applause and more puzzled looks. Ask yourself, if no one could see my life, would I still choose this path? Does my version of success bring peace or just pressure? True success is not a finish line. It's the integrity of how you walk the path. It's in the quiet moments when you know you acted rightly, even if no one noticed. When you define success on your own terms, criticism loses its sting. comparison loses its pull, and you start living with a freedom few ever taste. Because the greatest victory is not in beating others, it's in living a life that is entirely, unapologetically your own. Part 6. Practice detachment from outcomes. We spend so much of our lives chained to results. We measure days by wins and losses, moments by approval or disappointment. But the Stoics knew outcomes are never fully in your control. Only your actions, your effort, your intention belong to you. Epictetus said, "Some things are up to us and some are not." When you live as if results are yours to command, frustration is inevitable. When you live knowing you control only the input, peace becomes possible. Detachment is not indifference. It's not caring less. It's caring rightly. You give your best, but you don't tie your worth to whether the world claps or criticizes. Ask yourself, did I act with integrity? Did I give my best effort today? Did I stay true to my values regardless of the outcome? If the answer is yes, then you've already succeeded, no matter how the scoreboard looks. The Stoic measures life not in trophies, but in alignment. Not in applause, but in peace. Not in how often they win, but in how steadfast they remain when they lose. When you detach from outcomes, you become untouchable, because nothing external can take away the quiet victory of knowing you lived well today. Expectations will always be there, from family, from friends, from society. But the choice, to obey them blindly or to live by your own truth, that choice will always be yours. The Stoic path is not about rejecting everyone's voice. It's about choosing which voices deserve a place in your mind. It's about living with intention, not imitation. When you stop letting others define your worth, when you stop chasing a finish line you never chose, you don't just find freedom, you find yourself. Remember, the world will try to tell you who to be, but only you can decide who you will become. So walk your path, steady, clear, and unshaken. Let your actions speak louder than approval. Let your peace be louder than praise. If today's episode gave you even one moment of clarity, then carry that forward. Live it. Practice it. Protect it. And if you want to keep sharpening that clarity, subscribe to this channel, join the conversation in the comments, share your own story, because your life is too important to live by someone else's script.